por estar aquí acompañándonos en esta tarde, especialmente en este tiempo crucial de las elecciones presidenciales, especialmente en nuestras comunidades. I want to welcome everybody for being here. We thank you for being here, especially in this crucial time during the presidential election, especially in our community. We're going to have some speakers who will be addressing the reasons why we're here. Vamos a tener personas que van a estar hablando sobre por qué estamos aquí. Hoy se encuentra con nosotros, today, Pastor Drew Willard is here, Veteran Jerry Green, yes, vote vets, Ivan Abdurrahman Sykes, Daniel Barajas, American Dreamers, and Margarita Ramos from Farm Workers. Reverend Drew Willard is the pastor for a United Church of Christ congregation in Sumter County. He is a West Point graduate and served in the U.S. Army during his times overseas in Germany and Korea.
Also a biblical storyteller. Here are now these words adapted from the Gospel of Luke chapter 4. Jesus came to Nazareth on the Sabbath day. As it was his habit, he went to synagogue. And he got up to read publicly. He was given the scroll of the prophet Isaiah. And unrolling the book, he happened to find the place where it is written, "The Spirit of the one who is God rests upon me, to anoint me to preach good news to poor people, to proclaim amnesty for the captive people, recovery of insight to the proud blind people. I am sent to forgive in order to heal, to proclaim a year of reconciliation with the one who is God, fellowship with all people of goodwill." Let us pray. Almighty and merciful God, may we bear witness today to our common goals for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That the American dream be realized as a beloved community that is possible on earth as it is in heaven. Amen. I'm a minister with the United Church of Christ, a denomination that historically is descended from the Pilgrims, who were among the first immigrants to come to this land from Europe, seeking a better life and freedom for religion. We have become a church that says no matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome here. I am here as an advocate of the Farm Workers Self-Help Incorporated of Dade City and their director, Pastora Margarita Romo, told me about this event. She said, quote, "We want the best because we want to bless. We need compassion and mercy. This is not about party, it's about people," end quote. When you know somebody who is involved in the great questions and big issues of our time, it makes a difference. It is no longer a philosophical question or policy issue. It is personal. It's about people. I'm here with fellow clergyman, Imam Abdurrahman Sykes, and together with the local rabbi, a Jewish rabbi, we have demonstrated on many occasions how Jews, Christians, and Muslims can work and worship together. Those who have attended these events know the spiritual beauty of respecting others and being respected for our differences. It is God who doesn't change. The world is changing, slowly but surely, to become a beloved community that is possible on earth as it is in heaven. Jesus confronted the culture of violence of his day, absorbing its malice. He was resurrected to respond with forgiveness and love. Love is the most powerful thing in the universe because you can't make somebody love you. It's always a choice. We must begin to choose not to scapegoat others as a way to avoid the real problems of our society. 11 million immigrants are already here. It's It's no longer a philosophical question. It's about people. And when you know somebody, it makes a difference. Thank you.
Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce, presently works with both vets as their director of outreach for the state of Florida.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jerry Green, and I am a U.S. Army retired veteran. For the Southwest Asian Service Medal, Desert Storm. I am not an immigrant, but I've served with immigrants. And I am proud to call them my brothers and sisters. When you serve in our military, part of your mission is making sure you have the back of the person next to you. That you help them get back home at the end of the day, just as they are helping you get home to your family. That matters more than where they call home, how long they called it home, and what wall, citizenship tests, or other anti-American dog whistle message that you hear from Donald Trump. According to the Department of Defense, more than 65,000 immigrants were serving in the armed forces in 2008. Many of them are now veterans, like me. But unlike me, if they were stopped by the police for a traffic violation, were in the wrong place at the wrong time, someone who looks only at their status instead of their service means they could be deported. That is not the way we treat people who have fought for the freedoms we recognize in this country. Our immigrant vets who are permanently deported from this country can never come home again to the land of the free and the home of the brave. They are forced to live in countries they often know nothing about, maybe left when they were kids or very, very small children with their parents when their parents immigrated here, and now it is as foreign to them when they have to go back as it is to me. Veterans who fought for the United States in wars from Korea to Afghanistan have been deported to Mexico, to Germany, Jamaica, Portugal, Italy, England, and other nations. Donald Trump, the self-proclaimed great patriot, has never served his country in the military. Unlike those thousands of immigrants who served in the armed forces, he has taken 5 deferments to get out of serving in the Vietnam War. Trump knows nothing of the sacrifices of fighting, being wounded, or dying for this country. He is not fit to be Commander-in-Chief. Thank you.
The next speaker will be Iman Abdurrahman Sykes.
Peace and blessings be upon you all today. In the increasing velocity of Mr. Trump's ban on Muslims are the reverberations of the 1933's Nazi propaganda. As an imam in the great city beautiful Orlando, we've had shootings in the homes of Muslims. The masjid that I'm a member has been closed twice in the last month due to hate crimes. His hate speech and actions have been against the parents of Muslim Army Captain Humayun Khan, a Mexican judge born in Indiana, African Americans whom he refused to rent to, African American card dealers working in his casino who were removed from the floor when Mr. Trump and his wife visited the casino, and Mexicans Latinos, and Hispanic immigrants that Mr. Trump has referred to as killers and rapists. Mr. Trump's prejudice is borne out in the direct article, the Muslims, the blacks, the Hispanics. This kind of division and exclusion is against the American value of equality for all. America was built by immigrants and is a nation of immigrants. Our status as a nation of immigrants is what makes us so unique and so proud. Our success, simply put, would not have been possible without the generations of immigrants building the foundation of this great nation. America has a rich history of receiving humans escaping war, those seeking religious freedoms, and those trying to escape poverty. America has always been a place of freedom and refuge, and that is why we celebrate Independence Day. God says in chapter 49, verse 13 of the Quran, "O people, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female. He made you into nations, tribes, and groups, that you may know each other, not that you despise each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of God is the one who is most righteous of you." So in the Quran, and accepting and affirming diverse people are associated with righteousness. The Prophet Muhammad's constitution in Medina said, "Be aware, whoever is cruel and hard on a non-Muslim minority or curtails their rights or burdens them with more than they can bear or takes anything from them against their free will, I, Prophet Muhammad, will complain against that person on the day of judgment." I, as an American Muslim, follow the all-accepting and affirming Islam of Prophet Muhammad and completely reject the hatred and intolerance of those who trample upon the rights of others. I ask you to join me in advancing the pathway to equal rights for all the marginalized groups that Mr. Trump is trying to make invisible. They are valuable assets to our country. Thank you, and God bless you.
Our next speaker is Daniel Barajas from Young American Dreamers.
Al terminar en inglés lo hago en español.
Terminar en español.
Empiezo en inglés, me trabo en veces. My name is Daniel Barajas. I'm here from the Young American Dreamers, youth organization that was founded by my younger sister because she believed in including everyone, regardless of economic background, regardless of race, religion, regardless of sex, including everyone, regardless of age. Most youth organizations start in high school and college. That didn't include the younger generations. And at the end of the day, that's who we work for, that's who we fight for, the younger generation. When it comes to times for elections, candidates will sit there and talk about the future generations, what they're doing for the next generation that will take over. In school, elementary, I've known children that have been expelled for less than the comments that this candidate, Mr. Trump, has made. They've been expelled. They've been... You can't tell children they are the future when you're shutting them down. As Mr. Trump told the African American community, what more do you have to lose? It's not about what more do you have to lose. It's about what makes you worthy of our vote. It's about how you plan to lead us as the beacon of light of democracy across the nation, across the world. The global leaders of the cultural mixing pot. Yes, it's impressive that somebody who preaches so much division can actually think that they can lead us as one nation. Nobody elected takes an oath to defend one group, one party, one tax bracket. They're supposed to defend us all, represent us all. And if you're failing to do so, we ensure that the next generation will know. And every day, more and more children are turning 18. We're registering them to vote. There is power building. There is no question about that. And when the time comes for them to vote, they will remember who stood with their communities, who defended their families, and who actually led them to something more progressive to be proud of. A history that we will joyfully teach in class versus everything that we're trying to block out now and hide as if it never happened. Mi nombre es Daniel Barajas. Vengo de los Young American Dreamers, una organización juvenil que fue fundada aquí en el centro de la Florida por mi hermana menor. Fue fundado por la razón de que ella quería una organización que representara a todos, no importa de qué nivel económico, de qué barrio, de qué raza, de qué religión, de qué sexo. No importaba la edad. Sabemos que muchas organizaciones de jóvenes empiezan en la preparatoria, empiezan en el colegio, en la universidad, pero eso no prepara a los más jóvenes. Y los más jóvenes, al final de cuentas, son de los que hablan los candidatos cuando están pidiendo los votos, cuando están tratando de explicar por qué son los mejores. Pero esos mismos jóvenes, esos niños, muchos conocemos a niños que han sido suspendidos, expulsados de la escuela por decir cosas menores de lo que este candidato, el señor Trump, ha dicho. ¿Cómo es posible que alguien que quiera nuestro voto como candidato a la presidencia del país, que es el símbolo de la democracia, de la libertad, de la unidad en el mundo, cuando todo lo que hace es hablar de la división, de la separación? Todos los días tenemos niños que están cumpliendo los 18 años, llegando a la edad para votar, y nosotros nos vamos a encargar de registrarlos para votar. Y ellos se van a acordar quiénes estuvieron al lado y defendieron a sus familias, sus comunidades. Cuando sea el tiempo de ellos van a luchar por el nuevo poder y finalmente crear un mundo con una historia de la que estemos orgullosos para enseñar en nuestras clases y no tratar de hacer como que nunca pasaron, como que nunca existieron, como se hace con la historia de hoy. Gracias.
Romo is best known for advocating and lobbying for improvements to Tommytown, a poor farm worker community on the north end of Dale City. Romo's established agricultural women involved in New Goals, AWING, a self-help program designed to help women create better lives for themselves through educating. In 2010, Romo was named Hispanic Woman of the Year by the Tampa Hispanic Herd.
Good morning. I'm thinking it's still morning. I wanted to read a little bit because I don't want to forget what I'm saying. In 1971, as I was once more walking through a farm worker camp in North Tampa, Florida, I realized that nothing had changed from the days of my childhood because I was also a farm worker. These camps were hidden. Farmers had crew chiefs that brought the people in from Mexico. These folks worked and lived in conditions no American would live under. Why? Because they were still better than where they came from. And that was 45 years ago. Farm workers are a people that tilled our land, still does it, and care for our crops. Today, Mr. Possible President, I come to leave a message. Be compassionate and merciful. Judge carefully, for God will judge you. If Hillary were here, I would tell her the same thing. To those that much is given, much is required. You or she will only accomplish what God allows you to accomplish. He said for us to care for the widows and the children. He did not specify from where. Remember King Saul, remember King David and others. God is still God. We want to make sure. We've had a lot of God into the midst of us, to bring him into the table of what is going on with everybody. God is real. He hasn't gone to sleep. He can still move in a way that we cannot even imagine. Our people are important. We are a people. America is made of many people. And when the folks came from Europe, because they had nowhere to go, they came here. And they met the Indians, killed a bunch of them, and we forget that history. But God is still moving. God is still real. We have to make sure that the possible president, whoever it is, has God as their soulmate, that he is real to them, and that they will judge with compassion and mercy. There has to be systems, we know that, but they have to be the right systems. And they have to count on the people as to what is going to be best for them. Don't just build walls. People will always find a way to get over, under, or around that wall. Because that's our nature. That's our nature to follow that hope, that dream of a better life. All the undocumented people, this is what we serve in Pasco County. We've done it for 45 years. Never taken any money from the state or the government. I've done it on our own. Because why? We believe that we must care for the least of us. And this is a time. It's coming. November is almost here. What are we going to expect? And don't forget, all of us are responsible for prayer. All of us are responsible for prayer. Some of us are not praying. Some of us are not thinking about God. Some of us are so busy throwing rocks that that's all we're doing. We need to pray because God changes things. He can change things. He can change Hillary's heart. He can change Trump's heart. We can't forget that. God can still change everybody. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for participating in a time of crisis. I am so glad that we had pastors here that could come and share the good news. And that is that Jesus is still alive and he's still in control. Thank you.
Again, I wanted to talk a little bit about the banner that we see here, Wall of Trump. This banner was created by kindergarten, elementary students of my mama, and then it was finished up by middle and high school students. And they thought it was very important to put Trump's face on there and also Wall Off because they know that it's very important that they don't want their families to be divided. So I just wanted to bring that up and get a little bit about who the banner was. I want to thank everybody. We're part of the campaña Yo Decido, sponsored by Telemundo. Various organizations. Our next steps, we have been registering folks. We are doing civic engagements, candidate forums. We're going door to door. We're doing grassroots because it's important for our